Everybody, and welcome. Today we are going to bling this amazing hand-lettered word onto this tumbler using Beacon's Gem-Tac. Gem-Tac is a rhinestone adhesive that could be used on jeans, phones, purses, shoes, glasses, and more. And the best part, it's non-toxic. So let's get started. You're going to need the following supplies: a tumbler, I have a tumbler stand, rhinestone tray, glass rhinestones, of course, Beacon Gem-Tac. I have my word already cut out on a piece of permanent vinyl. I have transfer tape, a wax pencil with a pencil sharpener, a precision point bottle, weeder, scraper, and an alcohol pad. We're going to clear the workspace so we can get started. We are using glass rhinestones today. In a moment, we'll talk about sizes, but you will hear me say SS, which means stone size. The first thing we're going to do is clean the tumbler with an alcohol pad. This removes any dust or debris, and we do this to ensure our vinyl lays flat on the tumbler. And then we simply lay it on our tumbler stand to dry. While that's drying, let's fill our precision point bottle with Gem-Tac. The reason I prefer to add the Gem-Tac to a precision point bottle is that you can see the point on the bottle. While it's great, sometimes you need a finer point. And so that's why I move this glue into an additional bottle. I already have some adhesive in this bottle, but I need to add just a tiny bit more. So you just simply remove the top and then you just squeeze the Gem-Tac directly into the precision point bottle. Replace the top, and then we also want to make sure our glue is always at the point of this tip. And I'm going to use a glue holder to make sure my bottle is upside down at all times, and you'll see how fine the glue comes out. Next, we're going to sharpen our wax pencil with just a regular pencil sharpener. We will use the wax pencil to pick up the rhinestones and adhere them to the tumbler. When purchasing rhinestones, I always purchase this larger pack and then the matching multi-pack so I can have all of the sizes. Today we are using sizes SS20, SS16, SS12, 10, 8, 6, and 3. Our word is hand lettered, and so we will need different size rhinestones to cover the vinyl. I'm just going to pour all of the rhinestones together into a rhinestone tray. The smallest stones, I do try to keep those separate in a smaller tray. And those are really to like fill in gaps. And you'll see when we start blinging what I mean by gaps. All right, we have all of our rhinestones poured. So what we're going to do now is add the vinyl directly to the tumbler. I cut this on my cutting machine. You can cut a name. You can buy images off of Etsy or wherever you buy your images. Weed all the vinyl we don't need, and then you're going to take your transfer tape and add it directly to the top. You can use your scraper to add just a little bit of pressure, and then we're simply going to remove the backing. And here comes the fun part. We are going to add our word to the tumbler. Just make sure it's straight, and it's so easy. Use your fingers. You can use that scraper if you need to. And then you just pull back the transfer tape and your vinyl will stay on your tumbler. This is called dry fitting your stones. Before you add any adhesive, I'm just trying to calculate what stones fit where, and then we are going to add some adhesive and we're going to start the blinging process. You definitely need less adhesive than you think. You want to prevent any oozing from the sides of the rhinestones. Now, this will happen sometimes, and that's okay. Beacon's Gem-Tac is white, but it dries completely clear. All right, let's add some adhesive. This is the fun part. So I'm going to start at the top of the C, and you'll notice I'm going to use, in this one spot, I'm going to use 5 different size rhinestones. When placing stones on the vinyl, you want the stones to stay slightly inside the vinyl. I'm going to show you a close-up right here. Okay, I've used 3 rhinestones, different sizes, and I'm going to take another one and I'm staying slightly inside the vinyl. And then I'm going to add one more, just a dot of adhesive. The reason we stay inside the vinyl is because we want the vinyl helps us make everything look straight. It makes our words look straight and smooth. And our rhinestones are round. So if you place these outside of your vinyl, your words tend to look not as smooth. So here you see I'm starting to use 2 rows of rhinestones instead of one big rhinestone. Our largest rhinestone has actually been placed at the top of the C, and so you'll see it's not large enough to fill in the curve of the C. And so what we're going to do is just double up the rhinestones, and you'll see me do this for the entire word. Okay, we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna give you just some tips and tricks when it comes to rhinestones and Gem-Tac and placing your stones. So we do want to make sure we add enough adhesive so the rhinestone, stays on your tumbler, your vinyl, whatever you're blinging. Now, if you feel like you're placing a stone and it wants to come away from your object, just go ahead and add a touch more glue in that spot and it should easily just stick onto your project. Another thing is when you're picking up your rhinestones with your wax pencil, you want to make sure you're picking up and placing your rhinestones on your object facet side up. And the facet is like the dome part of the rhinestones. The flat part is the part you want touching your object or your tumbler or your vinyl. Another thing I want to talk about is cure time. For tumblers, these need to be hand washed. You don't want to soak them in any in a sink. You don't want to put them in a dishwasher. When washing these, you want to make sure your water is lukewarm and you're using a mild soap. Gem-Tac does dry in 24 hours. But for items as such as tumblers, things you're going to be, you need to wash and hand wash, you're going to be using and handling often, you want to make sure you give yourself some cure time. I always recommend 3 to 5 days for cure time, and once that's up, then you can take your tumbler and give it its first wash. Now, I am a little rough with the first wash, and I do this because if you are giving this as a gift, and remember, these are all hand placed. This is not done by machine or anything like that. If any of the stones, let's just say you had a stone and you didn't add enough adhesive, I'd rather it come off with me than the client or whoever I'm giving the gift to. So I do use like a sponge, and I kind of go over the stones during that first wash, still using warm water and mild soap. And I just go and check to see if any stones have come up or missing. This barely ever happens, but if you do happen to have a stone fall off, you can repair it right then and there before giving it as a gift or shipping it to a client. I then pat dry, and then I just let it air dry, and I just leave it alone. I don't like go and rub the stones and make sure that they're dry. They will air dry on their own. And remember, this is a luxury handmade item. You do need to take care with it. You do kind of need to babysit it. You've spent all of this time making this beautiful product. You don't want to ruin it. And speaking of time, I did calculate. It did take me about 55 minutes from cutting the vinyl and cleaning the tumbler and adding the stones. From start to finish, it took about 55 minutes. We are almost done. I'm going to add the rhinestones to the last letter and let this sit, dry, and cure. You guys, creating these tumblers is so relaxing, and I love every time I finish a project. I'm like, I cannot believe I created this. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I love creating this project. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments and we will do our best to answer all of the questions. Beacon Gem-Tac is available at beaconadhesives.com, Amazon, or your local craft retailer. Next month, I'll be back for another fabulous bling project with Beacon Gem-Tac. I'll see you then. Bye.